Hello, and welcome back to Super English Talks, the podcast where you can practice English and at the same time learn something new and useful about life. My name is Jara, and I'm really happy to have you here with me today. No matter where you are right now, maybe you're walking outside, cooking in your kitchen, sitting at home, or just lying down and relaxing, I want to thank you for choosing this podcast. You could be doing many things, but you decided to spend this time with me, and that means a lot. I also want to say a big thank you for all your support. Many of you send kind messages, comments, and feedback. When I read them, I feel encouraged. It tells me that this podcast is not only helping you learn English, but also helping you in your life, in your studies, and in your motivation. That's the reason I keep making these episodes, you. Now, today's episode is about something really important, something that can change the way you see your life. It can help your career, your studies, your personal goals, and even your relationships with other people. The topic is the psychology of winners. In simple words, it's about how successful people think. Have you ever asked yourself, why do some people keep moving forward even when life is very difficult? Why do some people stay positive even after they fail again and again? Why do some people always find a way to learn and grow while others give up too quickly? The answer is not only in what they do, but in how they think. Their success begins inside their mind. But before we go deeper, let's stop and ask a basic question. What does it really mean to be a winner? When we hear the word winner, many of us imagine someone who wins a race, a competition, or a game. Maybe we think of someone who is number one, someone with the highest score, or someone who gets a medal or a prize. When we hear the word successful, we often imagine people with a lot of money, a big job, a nice car, or a beautiful house. But in this podcast, we are not only talking about that kind of success. Success can be much deeper than money or trophies. A true winner is not just someone who wins competitions. A true winner is someone who doesn't stop when life gets hard. A winner is someone who keeps learning, keeps improving, and keeps moving forward step by step. For example, a student who studies every day, even when it's difficult, that's a winner. A parent who works hard to give their children a better future, that's a winner. A person who fails many times but always tries again until they succeed, that's a winner. Even someone who chooses to be kind in a world that is sometimes unkind, that person is a winner too. So, in today's episode, we will talk about how these people think. How do winners see problems? How do they react when they fail? What kind of habits do they build? And how do they stay strong inside even when things outside are not easy? By the end of this episode, you will learn how successful people think about problems, how they turn failure into learning, how they build habits that make them strong, and how you can start thinking like them in your own life. Don't worry, I will also give you simple and practical tips. You don't need to change everything at once. You can begin step by step in your own way. And, of course, while you listen, you're also improving your English listening skills. So, are you ready? Take a deep breath with me. Let's begin this journey into the mind of successful people. Let's discover how winners think and how you can become one, too. Success is not the same for everyone. In fact, success has many different meanings. What feels like success to one person may not feel the same to another person. For example, for one person, success might mean building a big company. For another person, success could mean learning how to speak English with confidence. For someone else, success might be raising a happy family, staying healthy, or helping people in their community. All of these are good. All of these are real examples of success. That's why we should never compare our lives to other people's lives. Your life is your own. Your path is your own. And your success is not smaller or weaker just because it looks different from someone else's. Let me share a few simple stories to make this clear. First story. Imagine a man who grows up in a small village. He doesn't have much money, and he doesn't have many opportunities. But he works very hard. He learns new skills. He starts a small shop. For many years, life is difficult, but he never gives up. Slowly, step by step, he improves. Finally, he becomes the first person in his village to send his children to college. Now, is this man rich? Maybe not. But is he successful? Absolutely. He used what he had, he kept going, and he created a better future for his family. That is what a true winner does. Second story. Now, think about a young woman who is very shy. She is afraid to speak in public. For many years, she stays quiet. She hides her ideas because she thinks her voice is not good enough. But one day, she decides to change. She starts small. She speaks a little during small meetings. She joins a speaking club. She makes mistakes, but she doesn't stop. After 2 years of practice, she gives a speech in front of 200 people. For her, this is a huge success. She may not be famous, but she is a winner.
Why?
Because she faced her fear and grew stronger. Third story. Let's look at one more example. Imagine a teenager who wants to pass a very difficult exam. While other kids are playing games or watching TV, he studies every day. Even when he is tired, he keeps going. He studies for weeks, months, maybe even years. Finally, he passes the exam and gets into the school or job he always dreamed of. That is also success. That is also a winner, someone who stays focused, works hard, and doesn't give up when life is difficult. So, as you can see, success is not always about money, fame, or being perfect. Success is about progress. It's about getting a little better every day. It's about not giving up when you fall. It's about trying again, even when you are tired, scared, or unsure of yourself. A winner is not always the fastest or the smartest person. A winner is someone who keeps showing up.
Someone who keeps trying.
Someone who gives their best effort again and again. Now, I want to ask you a very important question. What does success mean to you? Take a moment to think about it. Is success for you learning English well? Is it finding a good job? Is it being a good parent, a kind friend, or a helpful neighbor? Is it living a peaceful life, or maybe helping others in need? There is no wrong answer. Your definition of success is your own, and your journey toward it is just as valuable as anyone else's journey. So, as we continue with this episode, I want you to remember one thing very clearly. You don't have to be rich to be successful. You don't have to be famous to be successful. You don't have to be perfect to be a winner. You just need to keep going. You need to keep learning. You need to keep believing that growth is always possible. Every small step you take matters. Every effort you make brings you closer to your own version of success. And that is what being a winner is really about. How winners think differently, expanded and simplified. Now, let's talk about something very important. The way winners think. Many people believe that successful people are just lucky. Some people say, oh, they are rich because their family gave them money, or they are successful because they were born talented. Others think, well, they were just born special, not like me. But that's not true. The real difference is not money. It's not family. It's not even natural talent. The real difference is inside their mind. The way we think every day shapes our life. This way of thinking has a name: mindset. A mindset is simply the way you see yourself and the world. You can think of it like a pair of glasses. If your glasses are dirty, everything looks dark, unclear, and difficult. But if your glasses are clean, you can see clearly and with more hope. The same is true with your mindset. If your mindset is negative, it is very hard to grow. But if your mindset is positive and open, you can do much, much more. Psychologists, people who study the mind, talk about two main types of mindset: fixed mindset, growth mindset. These ideas were explained by a famous psychologist named Carol Dweck. Don't worry about the big name. We will keep everything very simple. The fixed mindset. People with a fixed mindset believe that nothing can really change. They think, I'm either smart or I'm not. I can do this or I can't. If I fail, it means I'm not good enough. For example, imagine a student who gets a bad grade in English. If they have a fixed mindset, they might say, I'm just bad at English. I'll never be good. And then they stop trying. That's the fixed mindset. The growth mindset. Now, let's see the opposite. People with a growth mindset believe something very different. They believe that they can improve with time, practice, and effort. If they don't know something today, they think, that's okay. I can learn it tomorrow. If they fail, they don't give up forever. Instead, they learn from the failure, they try again, and they grow stronger. Take the same example. A student gets a bad grade in English. This time, with a growth mindset, the student says, this is not the result I wanted. But now I know what I need to improve. I will try harder next time. That is the mindset of a winner. So, when we say winners think differently, we mean that they choose a growth mindset. They don't give up when life gets hard. They don't stop just because of mistakes. In fact, they see mistakes as a natural part of learning. For them, failure is not the end. Failure is just feedback. It's a lesson. Real-life example: business. Think about someone who wants to start a small business. At first, it's not easy. Maybe their first idea doesn't work. Maybe they even lose money. A person with a fixed mindset might say, I failed.
I'm not good at this.
I should stop. But a person with a growth mindset thinks differently. Okay, this didn't work. But I learned something important. Next time I'll do it better. This way of thinking helps them to keep moving forward. And step by step, they become successful. Real-life example: sports. The same is true in sports. A new player might lose many games in the beginning. A fixed mindset says, I'm just not good at this. I should quit. But a growth mindset says, what can I do better next time? So they talk to coaches, practice more, watch their mistakes, and slowly improve. Every loss becomes a step toward winning. Positive thinking. Another very important part of how winners think is positive thinking. Now, positive thinking does not mean they are always happy or always smiling.
No.
Winners feel sad, tired, and frustrated just like anyone else. But the difference is, they don't let negative thoughts control their life. When something bad happens, they don't just sit and complain. They look for a solution. When they feel fear, they still take action. They tell themselves, I can do this. I am learning. I will grow stronger. This kind of self-talk gives them strength. Positive thinking is also about believing that the future can be better. Even when today is difficult, winners believe that tomorrow can improve if they keep going. Winners don't have all the answers. Here's something very important to understand. Winners don't always know what will happen next. They don't always have a perfect plan. But here's the difference. They believe in their ability to face whatever comes. They say to themselves, I may not have all the answers today, but I can find them. This belief gives them courage. Instead of stopping, they keep moving forward, one small step at a time. And here's something really interesting. This way of thinking is not magic. It's not something you're born with. It's actually a skill. And like any skill, you can learn it. You can train your mind to think like a winner. It begins with very small changes in your thoughts.
For example,
instead of saying, I can't do this, say, I can try. Instead of, I'm not smart, say, I can learn. Instead of, I always fail, say, I'm still learning, and I will get better. These small changes may seem simple, but over time they make a huge difference. So the next time you face a problem, stop for a moment and ask yourself, how can I think like a winner in this situation? Maybe it means looking for the lesson. Maybe it means staying calm. Maybe it means trying again, even after failing. Whatever it is, always remind yourself, growth is possible. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to keep going. Remember this. Successful people are not superhuman. They are normal people just like you. The only difference is that they train their mind to think in a powerful way. They choose growth. They stay positive. And they never stop learning. Habits of successful thinkers. Now, let's go a little deeper. Let's talk about the thinking habits of successful people. Because here's the truth. The way we think every day slowly becomes our habit. And our habits shape our actions. Over time, our actions shape our life. That's why it's so important to pay attention to our thinking habits. If we learn to think like successful people, we are more likely to act like them and reach our goals. So, what kind of habits do successful thinkers have? How do winners think in their daily life? Let's look at 5 simple but powerful habits that you can start practicing too. Habit 1. They focus on goals. Winners are clear about what they want. They don't just live day by day with no direction. They know their goal and they think about it often. This clear vision helps them stay focused. It protects them from getting lost in small problems. For example, imagine a student who dreams of becoming a nurse. Every day, even when her classes are hard or when she feels tired, she reminds herself, I want to become a nurse. This goal gives her motivation. It helps her plan her day better. She studies harder, she avoids distractions, and she keeps going because her goal is clear in her mind. Habit 2. They learn from mistakes. Successful people don't hate mistakes. They use them as teachers. When something goes wrong, they don't give up, and they don't just blame others. Instead, they ask, what can I learn from this? Think about a man who starts a business and fails. Maybe he loses money. Maybe he makes poor choices. A fixed mindset would quit, but a successful thinker reflects. He says, okay, I see what I did wrong. Next time, I'll do it better. This habit turns every mistake into a lesson. And over time, these lessons make him smarter, stronger, and closer to success. Habit 3. They stay calm in problems. Life is full of challenges. Things don't always go the way we want. But winners train their mind to stay calm. They don't let panic take over. They don't waste energy on anger. They stop, take a breath, and think clearly. For example, imagine a teacher who prepares a big online class. Suddenly, the internet stops working. A negative thinker would get angry, maybe even cancel the class. But a winner takes a deep breath and finds another way. Maybe she uses her phone data, or maybe she switches to writing on the board. Instead of giving up, she stays calm, finds a solution, and keeps going. the role of self-belief and confidence. These two words, self-belief and confidence, are very close in meaning. They both describe how much you trust yourself and your abilities. And without them, it's very difficult to grow, to try new things, or to move forward in life. That's why they play such a big role in the psychology of winners. So, what exactly is self-belief? In simple words, self-belief means that you believe you are capable. You believe that you can learn, improve, and handle life's challenges. It does not mean you believe you are perfect. It does not mean you never make mistakes. It simply means that deep inside, you trust that you can figure things out step by step. You may not know how to do something today, but you believe that with time and effort, you will learn how to do it. Confidence is very similar. Confidence is the feeling you have when you say, "Yes, I can do this." Or even, "I'm not sure yet, but I'm willing to try." Confidence helps you take action even when things feel difficult or new. Without confidence, people often stay in the same place. They don't try new jobs. They don't speak up in class. They don't follow their dreams. But with confidence, people take steps. They speak, they act, they learn. And even if they fail, they don't stop because they trust that they will get better. Here's something important to understand. Self-belief is not something you are born with. It's something you build. Just like a muscle in your body, self-belief grows when you use it. The more you take small actions, the stronger it becomes. Think about learning English. If you are afraid to speak and you stay silent all the time, your confidence stays small. But if you start speaking just one sentence a day, your confidence begins to grow. After a few weeks or months, you feel stronger inside. Suddenly, things that once felt scary become normal. That is the power of practice. One very useful way to build self-belief is by taking small steps. Many people try to do big things all at once. And when they fail, they feel bad and give up. But winners know that big success starts with small steps. For example, if you want to run 5 kilometers, you don't start by running all 5 on the first day. You start by walking, then jogging, then slowly increasing your distance. The same is true for learning. If you want to improve your English, start with small goals. Read 1 page a day. Speak 1 sentence a day. Ask 1 question a day. These steps may seem small, but they're very powerful. Every step builds your belief in yourself. Another good technique is to use positive self-talk. This means the way you talk to yourself in your mind. Many people say negative things like, "I'm not good at this," or "I always fail." But this kind of thinking makes self-belief weaker. Successful thinkers do something different. They talk to themselves in a kind and helpful way. They say things like, "I can learn this," or "It's okay to make mistakes," or "I'm getting better every day." These small positive thoughts make a big difference over time. You can also try writing down your small successes. At the end of each day, think about something you did well, even if it's very small. Maybe you answered a question in class. Maybe you said hello to someone in English. Maybe you studied for 10 minutes. Write it down. Look at your progress. Remind yourself that you are growing. This simple habit will help you trust yourself more and more. And here's one more important point. Surround yourself with people who believe in you. If you are always around negative people who tell you that you can't do something, it's very hard to build confidence. But if you spend time with people who encourage you, who say, "You can do it," and who believe in your potential, then your self-belief grows faster. So remember this. Self-belief and confidence are not gifts from the sky. They are skills you can practice every single day. Take small steps, use positive self-talk, Write down your progress and choose supportive people around you. Bit by bit, you will start to feel stronger inside. And once you believe in yourself, nothing can stop you from moving forward. Common challenges and how winners handle them. Everyone faces challenges. No matter who you are, no matter where you live, challenges are part of life. Even the most successful people in the world feel fear, experience failure, and sometimes get rejected. The difference is not that winners avoid these problems.
No.
The difference is in how they handle them. Winners don't let fear stop them. They don't let failure break them. And they don't let rejection make them feel worthless. Instead, they see these challenges as part of the journey. They understand that growth always comes with difficulties. In this part, we're going to talk about 3 big challenges: fear, failure, and rejection. And we'll see how winners deal with them in a smart and strong way. 1. Facing fear. Everyone feels fear. Fear is a normal human emotion. We feel afraid when we try something new, when we speak in public, when we take a risk, or when we think we might fail. But winners understand something very important. Fear is not a stop sign. It's just a signal. Fear means you are growing. Fear means you are stepping outside your comfort zone. For example, imagine someone who wants to move to another country for work. Of course they feel afraid. It's a big change. New language, new people, new culture. Fear is natural. But instead of saying, "I can't do this, it's too scary," they think, "Yes, I feel afraid, but I can prepare. I can learn. I can take one step at a time." And then they take action. That is how winners face fear. They don't wait until the fear goes away, because fear never disappears completely. Instead, they move forward with fear. They act even when they are afraid. And step by step, the fear becomes smaller, while their confidence becomes bigger. 2. Learning from failure. The second big challenge is failure. Many people are so afraid to fail that they never even try. They think, "What if I make a mistake? What if I look silly? What if I don't succeed?" So they stay in the same place. But winners think differently. They know that failure is not the end. It's just a part of learning. Failure is feedback. Think about Thomas Edison, the man who invented the electric light bulb. He failed not once, not twice, but thousands of times. But he didn't stop. He didn't call himself a failure. He said, "I have not failed. I have just found 10,000 ways that won't work." That mindset is powerful. It turns failure into progress. When winners fail, they don't feel ashamed. They don't give up. Instead, they ask themselves questions like, "What went wrong? What can I do better next time? What did this failure teach me?" Failure makes them curious, not hopeless. And because of this, every failure makes them stronger, smarter, and closer to success. 3. Handling rejection. The third challenge is rejection. Rejection means someone says no to you. Maybe you don't get the job you wanted. Maybe someone doesn't like your idea. Maybe you apply for a course or a program and they don't accept you. Rejection hurts. It always hurts. But winners don't let rejection destroy their confidence. They know rejection is part of life. They know it happens to everyone, even the most successful people in the world. Take the example of J.K. Rowling, the author of the Harry Potter books. Today, her books are loved by millions of people. But do you know what happened in the beginning? Her book was rejected by 12 different publishers. 12 times people told her, "No, this won't work." Imagine if she had given up after the first or second rejection. The world would never have read her stories. But she didn't give up. She kept going until someone finally said yes. That's the power of persistence, the decision to keep moving even when others close the door. How you can handle these challenges. So, how can you handle fear, failure, and rejection in your own life? Let's make it simple with some easy tips. When you feel fear, take small actions. Don't wait to feel ready. Start with something simple. For example, if you are afraid to speak English, don't wait until you are perfect. Start with one sentence. Then try two. Then more. Action reduces fear. The more you do, the braver you feel. When you face failure, change your questions. Instead of asking, "Why am I so bad at this?" ask, "What can I learn from this?" Instead of saying, "I failed again," say, "I learned something new again." The lesson you take from failure is more important than the failure itself. When you face rejection, remember it's not the end. Rejection does not mean you are not good enough. It only means that this opportunity was not the right one, not the right time, or not the right place. Winners don't stop after one no. They keep looking until they find the right yes. So remember this. Fear, failure, and rejection happen to everyone. You cannot avoid them, but you can choose how to respond to them. Winners choose courage instead of fear. They choose learning instead of shame. They choose persistence instead of giving up. And the good news is you can choose these things too. Step by step, you can train your mind to think like a winner, even in the face of life's hardest challenges. Instead of asking yourself, "Why did this happen to me?" try asking, "What can I learn from this?" This one small change makes a huge difference. When you ask "Why me?" you feel like a victim. You feel powerless. But when you ask "What can I learn?" you become stronger. You start to see failure as a teacher, not as a punishment. You can even write down the lessons in a notebook. Make it simple. For example, "Next time I will prepare earlier," or "I need to practice more." Then try again with a new plan. Each time you do this, you are not failing, you are improving. Remember, failure is never personal. It does not mean you are a failure. It just means that something didn't work this time. That's all. Now, let's talk about rejection. Rejection means someone says no to you. Maybe you don't get the job you wanted. Maybe someone doesn't like your idea. Maybe you apply for a course or program and don't get accepted. Of course, rejection hurts. It can make you feel sad or unwanted. But here's the truth. Rejection does not define your worth. It does not mean you are not good enough. It simply means that this was not the right opportunity, or it was not the right time. Think about this. Every successful person in the world has heard no many times. They didn't stop. They kept showing up. They kept improving. And eventually they got their yes. That's the key. You only need one yes, and it will come if you keep going. It also helps to share your feelings with someone you trust. Talk to a friend, a teacher, or a family member. Sometimes just saying your struggles out loud makes them feel lighter. Don't hide your challenges. Everyone has them. Talking about them doesn't make you weak. It makes you stronger. And here's something very important. Celebrate your courage. If you face your fear, if you try again after failing, or if you move forward after rejection, pause for a moment and be proud of yourself. You are doing what winners do. You are building a strong mind, one challenge at a time. Now, let's move to the next part. How to think like a winner in your daily life. You might be wondering, how do I actually do this? How do I build a winner's mindset in my everyday routine? The good news is, you don't need to wait for a big success or a big opportunity. You can start right now with simple habits. Here are a few easy tips. 1. Start the day with a plan. Many people wake up and just go through the day without direction. They react to whatever happens. But winners don't do that. Winners take a few minutes in the morning to think, what are the most important things I want to do today? You don't need a long list. Just write 2 or 3 goals. Maybe you want to study English for 20 minutes, finish a task at work, or call a family member. Having a plan makes your day clear and focused. You don't waste energy deciding what to do next. You already know. And that's how winners move forward with purpose. 2. Be thankful for small things. Gratitude, or thankfulness, is a secret power of winners.
Why?
Because it trains your mind to focus on what is good instead of what is missing. Every day, try to notice small positive things. Maybe it's a tasty meal, a smile from a stranger, or even the fact that you have internet to listen to this podcast. You can write down 1 to 3 things you are grateful for before going to sleep. This simple habit keeps your mind strong and positive. And a positive mind is the foundation of a winner's mindset. 3. Speak kindly to yourself. This one may sound strange, but it's very important. The way we talk to ourselves matters. Many people constantly say negative things like, I'm not good at this, or I always fail. Imagine if your best friend spoke to you that way every day. You wouldn't feel very confident, right? So why do it to yourself? Winners use kind and supportive self-talk. They say things like, I'm learning, I'm improving, or I can try again. These words may seem small, but they create powerful energy inside you. When you speak kindly to yourself, you give yourself the strength to keep moving forward. But winners don't talk to themselves in a negative way. They know that words are powerful. The words you use with yourself can either break your confidence or build it up. That's why winners choose kind and encouraging words. They say things like, I'm learning, or I did my best today, or next time I'll try again. You can practice this too.
Start by noticing your thoughts.
If you catch yourself thinking something negative like, I'm terrible at this, or I'll never succeed, pause.
Take a deep breath.
Then change that sentence into something supportive. For example, instead of, I can't do this, say, this is hard right now, but I can improve if I keep trying. Treat yourself the way you would treat a good friend, with support, care, and kindness. Another key idea is this: don't give up easily. It's completely normal to feel tired, frustrated, or even hopeless sometimes. Everyone feels that way, even the most successful people. But the difference is that winners don't stop just because things are hard. They may take a break, they may rest, but they always come back and try again. Let's take an example. Imagine you are learning English and you find a grammar point that feels confusing. A negative thought might come up. I'll never get this. But a winner changes the thought to, this is difficult for me right now, but if I keep going, I will understand it. That's the mindset that creates progress. Every single winner in history has faced moments when they wanted to give up, but they didn't. And that decision to keep going made all the difference. So remember, you're stronger than you think. All of these tips may sound small and simple, but they are very powerful. If you practice them every day, they can completely change the way you think and feel. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to keep showing up and trying. Wake up with a plan. Look for things to be thankful for. Use kind words when you talk to yourself. Stay strong when things are tough. These are the daily habits of winners. And the best part? These are habits that you can learn. So I want to encourage you, don't just listen to these ideas, try them.
Pick one small habit today.
Maybe it's writing down your daily goals. Maybe it's saying one kind sentence to yourself in the mirror. Do it today and then do it again tomorrow. Over time, these small actions build your winner's mindset. And each step you take brings you closer to the person you want to become. Always remember, thinking like a winner is not about being the best in the world. It's about becoming your best, step by step, day by day, through your choices, your attitude, and your thoughts. You already have the power inside you. Now it's time to use it. We're now coming to the end of today's episode. I want to take a few minutes to review everything we've talked about. This has been a deep and powerful topic, the psychology of winners. I hope you found it useful, simple, and inspiring. Let's quickly recap the key ideas. First, we talked about what a winner really is. A winner is not just someone who wins trophies, earns big money, or gets famous. A real winner is someone who keeps growing, keeps learning, and never gives up. Success looks different for everyone, and that's okay. Your success is about your goals, your values, and your personal journey. Then we explored how winners think differently. They don't believe they are born with all the answers. Instead, they have something called a growth mindset. That means they believe they can improve, learn, and get better through effort and practice. When they face problems, they look for solutions. When they make mistakes, they don't stop, they try again. We also learned about the habits of successful thinkers. These are small daily actions that build a strong mindset, setting clear goals, learning from mistakes, staying calm in tough times, asking for help when it's needed, and learning something new every day. They may sound simple, but practiced over time, they make you unstoppable. Then we talked about the importance of self-belief and confidence. Winners believe in themselves, even when things feel difficult or confusing. They take small steps, celebrate every little progress, and speak kindly to themselves. They know that confidence is not something you are born with. You don't wake up one day with it fully formed. Confidence is something you build slowly, step by step, with practice. Each action you take, each small success helps your confidence grow. Of course, winners also face challenges. They feel fear, they fail sometimes, and they are rejected at times. But the difference is how they handle these challenges. They don't let fear stop them. They don't let failure keep them from trying again. And they don't let rejection bring them down. Instead, they see every challenge as a chance to grow stronger, smarter, and more capable. We also talked about how to think like a winner in your daily life. This is not about making huge changes or doing big dramatic things. Thinking like a winner comes from small, simple habits you do every day. Start your day with a clear plan. Be thankful for the little things around you. Speak kindly to yourself in your thoughts. And when life gets hard, don't give up. These small actions may seem simple, but over time, they can make a huge difference. And the best part is, you can start doing them right now, today. Now, I want you to ask yourself a simple question. What is one small thing you can do today to think like a winner? Maybe it's writing down your goals for the day. Maybe it's noticing a negative thought and changing it to a positive one. Maybe it's trying something new, even if it feels a little scary. Or maybe it's reminding yourself that mistakes are not the end, they are part of learning. Whatever small step you choose, take it. Winners are not made in a single day. They are made by choosing the right mindset, again and again every day. And remember, you don't have to be perfect. You just have to keep moving forward. Every step you take is a win. Every lesson you learn makes you stronger. You already have the ability to grow, improve, and succeed. All it takes is belief in yourself, action, and a little patience. Before we end today, I want to give you something special, a short speaking practice section. This will help you practice English while thinking like a winner. I will ask a few questions. After each question, pause the podcast and try to answer in full sentences. Even short answers are fine.
Just do your best.
Question 1. Who is a successful person you know? This could be someone famous, or someone in your family or community. Think about what makes them successful. Is it their job, their personality, or the way they live their life? Question 2. What does success mean to you? There is no right or wrong answer. Your idea of success may be different from others. For example, is success about being happy, helping people, reaching your goals, or something else? Try to explain what success looks like in your own life. Question 3. What do you do when you make a mistake? Mistakes happen to everyone. What matters is how you react. Do you get upset or discouraged, or do you try to learn from it? Share what you usually do and how you feel. Question 4. What is one small habit you can start today to think like a winner? Maybe it's writing down your goals, saying something positive to yourself, or practicing English every day. Think of one habit and describe it. Question 5. Have you ever faced fear or failure? What did you do? Take a moment to think about a time when you felt scared or when something didn't go the way you hoped. Maybe you tried something new and it felt scary. Maybe you failed at a task, a test, or a goal. How did you handle it? Did you try again? Did you learn something new from the experience? It doesn't matter if your answer is short or simple. Take your time with each question. Don't worry about grammar or pronunciation. The goal is not to be perfect. The goal is to practice thinking and speaking in English, just like you would in real life. Every small effort counts, and every answer is a step forward. Thank you so much for joining me today on this episode of Super English Talks. I hope that during this episode, you didn't just learn something new about winners and success, but also had the chance to practice your listening, thinking, and even speaking in English. This podcast is here to help you grow, not just in English, but in life. Remember, thinking like a winner is a skill you can practice every day. Stay positive, stay patient, and keep taking small steps toward your goals. Until next time, stay strong, stay focused, and keep thinking like a winner. You've got this. Take care, and I can't wait to see you in the next episode.